West Coast fishery rebounds in rare conservation home run. Warrenton, Oregon, AP, a rare environmental success story is unfolding in waters off the U.S. West Coast. After years of fear and uncertainty, bottom trawler fishermen, those who use nets to catch rockfish, bocaccio, sole, Pacific Ocean perch and other deep-dwelling fish, are making a comeback here, reinventing themselves as a sustainable industry less than 2 decades after authorities closed huge stretches of the Pacific Ocean because of the species depletion. The ban devastated fishermen, but on January 1, regulators will reopen an area roughly 3 times the size of Rhode Island off Oregon and California to groundfish bottom trawling, all with the approval of environmental groups that were once the industry's biggest foes. The rapid turnaround is made even more unique by the collaboration between the fishermen and environmentalists who spent years refining a long-term fishing plan that will continue to resuscitate the groundfish industry while permanently protecting thousands of square miles of reefs and coral beds that benefit the overfished species. Now, the fishermen who see their livelihood returning must solve another piece of the puzzle, drumming up consumer demand for fish that haven't been in grocery stores or on menus for a generation. "It's really a conservation home run," said Shems Judd, Regional Director for the Environmental Defense Fund's Ocean Program. "The recovery is decades ahead of schedule. It's the biggest environmental story that no one knows about." The process also netted a win for conservationists concerned about the future of extreme deepwater habitats where bottom trawlers currently don't go. A tract of ocean the size of New Mexico with waters up to 2.1 miles, 3.4 kilometers, deep will be off limits to bottom trawling to protect deep-sea corals and sponges just now being discovered. Not all fishermen are rapers of the environment. When you hear the word trawler, very often that's associated with destruction of the sea and pillaging, said Kevin Dunn, whose trawler Iron Lady was featured in a Whole Foods television commercial about sustainable fishing. Groundfish is a catch-all term that refers to dozens of species that live on, or near, the bottom of the Pacific off the west coast. Trawling vessels drag weighted nets to scoop up as many fish as possible, but that can also damage critical rocky underwater habitat. The groundfish fishery hasn't always struggled. Starting in 1976, the federal government subsidized the construction of domestic fishing vessels to lock down U.S. interests in West Coast waters, and by the 1980s, that investment paid off. Bottom trawling was booming, with 500 vessels in California, Oregon and Washington hauling in 200 million pounds, 91 million kilograms, of non-whiting groundfish a year. Unlike Dungeon, for more on this story, visit the news article link.